Welcome to TESPN's broadcast of the LIS Field Hockey Championship game. Today we've got the Cougars of Collegiate coming in to face the Trinity Episcopal Titans for this championship game. These two have played twice already this season. Both were very competitive games. Titans did win them both 2-0 at Collegiate and then 1-0 just about 2 weeks ago right here at Aycock Stadium. Coop, we were here for that game 2 weeks ago, the 1-0 Titan victory. What are some things you remember from that game, and what do you think will be a key for this one?
I think what the key thing that I remember from that game that I really took away from it is that both sides were pressing really high. It was a really offensive game, but at the same time, the true back line, so I'd say probably the last 3-4 defenders on both teams, really held firm, and there were very few, I'd say, clear-cut chances where it was like a one-on-one or a good shooting opportunity for either team. And then, obviously, the Laney Nichols goal with, I believe, about 2 minutes left was brilliant to put the Titans ahead and ended up being the game winner on that day.
Yeah, we weren't at the first matchup, but as I recall, just from hearing about it, I think that also that game went into the fourth quarter scoreless, and the Titans were able to step up and get 2 goals in about the last, I think, 5 minutes or so. So both games have come right down to the wire. The first matchup, Valentina and Brogy Torres, the goalkeeper for Trinity, made 28 saves. And the game here that we were able to broadcast, I believe Collegiate, if I recall, had about 8 or 9 corners. So they definitely were right there with a chance to win. And you know, it's not often that this Titan field hockey team is back on their heels, but at times in that game they were. But ultimately, I remember the goal very well. Sarah Jane Ryan played it up the sideline to Carson Beatty. Carson Beatty drove at the defense, got into the circle, and then laid it off to Laney Nichols for the finish. It was an extremely exciting game, probably as exciting of an athletic event as we've had the opportunity to cover here in our inaugural season of TESPN, and we expect another similarly extremely exciting contest today. Also, these teams come in. They're number 1 and number 2 in the league seeds, but also for state rankings, the Cougars come in at number 3 and the Titans come in at number 2. So you're talking about really two of the best field hockey teams that you're going to see, not just in Richmond, but in all of Virginia, battling out here today. So super excited that we get to be a part of it. This is another little bit of history being made here for TESPN. This is our first ever championship game broadcast, and at the end of this, in about an hour and a half or so, someone's walking out of here with a trophy, Coop.
Yeah, and honestly, I could see this game going overtime. I think this is going to be both teams, even though we saw how much they wanted it last time, those feelings are just going to be amplified, and I think that it could quite possibly go to overtime. I don't see any more than 3 goals being scored here. I think all in all, it's probably going to be a 2-1 game for the Titans.
All right, well, there's your prediction, and here we go. The action has begun. Cougars possessing, and they're playing it around the back line, trying to establish some early possession, but a little bit of nerves there as that ball got away and trickled out of bounds, and Titans will take over possession as Ellis Shirey looks for Mary Hazel Davis in the middle, and Davis lays it off to fellow sophomore Darcy Kopsinis. Back to Davis, and she did well to keep that ball in just along the sideline to another sophomore, this one Ellie Johnson, and she's well defended there by the Cougars, number 22, Amani Kimball McCavish. And this is a real battle to watch here in the middle with Callie Rogers, a terrific player for Collegiate, and Mary Hazel Davis, 2 of the top sophomores in all the country, are battling in the middle of the field, and that'll be definitely one to keep an eye on as this game progresses. Great crowd here on this Thursday afternoon.
Looks like we have a big Titan supporters. I know the soccer team is staying out here at least for the first quarter. Always hope for longer. And,
yeah, great student section. You got boys soccer and
looks like a little bit of
football,
yeah.
Along with just some other students with interest, and they're making some noise early as it looked like perhaps a high stick there on the Titans. Speaking of soccer, we will be broadcasting our first ever state tournament broadcast on TESPN tomorrow as boys soccer post Benedictine. And
Oh.
now we got Olivia Schmicky stepping in and making a steal, showing off that speed.
Oh,
She
that
gets
looked
into
like
the circle and
Oh.
looked to be tripped up, but the officials are going to
No.
let that one go. I guess they deem that Schmicky went down a little too easily, maybe tripped over her own feet. That would have been huge because in that circle
That
would have been a penalty stroke. But play continues. Titans heaping on the pressure, but well defended there by Madeline Curtis for the Cougars. She's a player who really impressed me the last time they were here. As for you and I both with more of a soccer background, I remember describing her as a defensive center mid. As Darcy Copsonis works hard to try and keep that ball in bounds. Sadie Brooks for the Cougars, though, was able to shield it off, and it will turn over to Collegiate, and they go with a big one right to the middle of the field, but a nice backhand from Ella Shirey to Ellie Johnson, back to Shirey, but now Callie Rogers with the interception, and she looks to hit the ball ahead to Mary Catherine Brost, and Brost plays it out wide to Catherine Rauch. So both teams have been able to get the ball down the field into the circle on either end, and I'm not sure what the call was there. At times we are still learning these field hockey rules here at TESPN, but it was going to be a violation against the Cougars, and now Kendall Fleet at the heart of the Titan defense plays it out to Darcy Copsonis.
And so far, we're going to have to
really nice possession there. Sorry, Coop, go ahead.
We're going to have to see what Coach Sneed does. A lot of times she loves to rotate these forwards and make sure they all stay fresh, and we're going to see what she does here. But I could also see her trying to fall back on her more trusted players, and we'll really see because we definitely seen a lot of times she's been subbing these forwards out every 4 or 5 minutes, and I think that could be a huge game.
Yeah, just a strategy, and that's one thing we saw in the semifinals as the Titans battled St. Anne's, and I'll come back to that in a second. But right now the Cougars get it right in front of the cage, and Valentina Ambrogi-Torres with a great save, but the chance is not passed. It is going to be a penalty corner for the Cougars, their first of the day. Ambrogi-Torres, Valentina there, she went to ground to make that initial save, and then I think it was a little bit of a obstruction situation that is going to lead to the first penalty corner of the game for the Cougars, and we know what a key corners have been for the Titans this year. Offensively, they've done a great job, as well as generally defensively protecting, but the Cougars certainly are threatening as they play a ball in there. Nice job, I believe, played off the line by Kendall Fleet, and now it's going to be another corner, and Cougars definitely putting on the early pressure. So I was saying in the semifinal, the 6-1 win over Stab, the Titans subbed very liberally, really from the outset, keeping fresh legs, but also in a game that figures to be super tight. You may, as you say, see them not go as deep on the bench. As the ball comes out to Rogers, she plays it in, and again, Valentina is able to get on it, and she was interfered with, and so the chance is passed. That's great goalkeeping.
That was amazing goalkeeping there from Valentina.
Yeah, one thing I want to give a lot of credit for Valentina is there's a lot of games when she doesn't get a ton of action because this Titan team tends to dominate most games, but then when she has been called into action this season, like the collegiate games and just some of the other close ones, St. Catherine's, Norfolk Academy, she's generally been up to the challenge, and I know she puts a lot into this as well. So great to see that hard work pay off. But the Cougars, they're really impressive, their ability to move the ball quickly from side to side. I think they're very clearly that little bit more skillful than pretty much any of the other opponents that we've been able to see here this fall.
Completely. As a rare misplay there from Lainey Nichols.
Yeah, she kind of started to make that sprint ahead before she had maintained possession, but Darcy Copsonis does well. Regular viewers of our broadcast will know how much Cooper and I both just appreciate Darcy and her, I hate to use the word again, it's almost becoming cliche, but her poise and just her field hockey IQ is a big difference maker.
Yeah.
As the Titans look to maintain possession. Again, Laney not quite able to handle in the middle there, and that's a big ball played up to the number 6 for the Cougars, Sadie Brooks. And it's going to be Collegiate possession out top. This is
Just have to slow this ball down. Collegiate's really shown how well they've been enjoying this high press, and I think if you can slow it down, try to move a ball around. With this high press, there has to be gaps somewhere because that's just, unless you're playing the perfect press ever.
Yeah, and there's Callie Rogers and Mary Hazel Davis, that battle again that we just think is going to be a huge key. And Mary Hazel's done a really good job containing Rogers in their first 2 meetings, but Callie Rogers is a really talented player and one that you just can never lose sight of. As the Cougar score. Goal there by number 23, Mary Catherine Brost. You can't say it wasn't coming. I mean, Collegiate was heaping on the pressure, and Titans were struggling to get it out from their own defensive third, and Collegiate is able to break through. So this is the 3rd meeting between these 2 teams, and it's the first time the Cougars have been able to strike that cage, and you can tell how much it meant to them. Just a really passionate goal celebration from Brost and the Cougars when that ball smacked that wood in the cage. You saw every Cougar player just arms go up. So tons of time left, still 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. And as you pointed out, Carson Beatty was preparing to come in the game, and she now has come in as Beatty comes in for Ava Benson out on that left wing position. And what a super sub that Beatty is. The freshman has had a tremendous year, scored a ton of goals, and she's already having an impact. She plays it over Davis. That was an interesting one where the initial call went in the Titans' favor, but then the FAR official changed the call, and that's a big change because Titans were in really good position. But
yeah, and so far outside of that one Olivia Schminke run, which might have been a penalty stroke, we'll have to look back on that. Titans have not had much here, and Collegiate really been dominating possession a lot more than what I'm used to seeing here spectating these Titan games. I think this is the first time I've ever seen the Titans been down, and we'll see how they come back here.
Yeah, and that is that call is going to be one. And look, the officials were right on it. We weren't in a position to see. Clearly, Schminke thought she was tripped, and that would have been a huge game changer because it would have been a penalty stroke and would have given the Titans a great opportunity to get on the board first. But instead, they're now having to play from behind. And it's just also from a momentum standpoint. We know how big momentum is in all sports, but particularly we've seen that in field hockey, what a big advantage it is to have the momentum. And right now, the momentum is very clearly in the Cougars' corner. Callie Rogers showing off the skills as the ball comes through. Kicked out by Valentina Ambrosi-Torres.
You know, and that's another thing is that usually when we see the Titans put this, Olivia Schminke and Lainey Nichols, we see a lot of times Coach Schneed likes to put one up top and one in the midfield. Usually we're seeing a lot of it where the midfielder, Collegiate has a good chance here.
Yeah, they were able to intercept that and play it right in front, and it is a good opportunity. But high stick on Brost is going to turn it back over to the Titans, and disaster was avoided.
But as I was saying, we usually see the person in the midfield getting a lot of touches, carrying the ball forward, and we wonder what's happened to the person going up front. But today, it's really been Schminke doing a lot of the work here for the Titans, and Lainey Nichols has been held really quiet so far, even though it doesn't look like Collegiate's doing anything different. It doesn't look like they're man-marking her, but...
Yeah, she has, still tons of time, and I'm confident that Nichols will ultimately have a big impact in this game, as she always does. But you're right, she has had a couple misplayed touches and just hasn't really gotten the ball in space yet. And it looks like the Cougars are really using that high press, and they are cutting off a lot of the passing angles. They clearly seem to have a really good game plan. You got to give credit to Coach Karen Doxey and her staff. They are ready to play, and they've made some adjustments from the previous meetings. And Callie Rogers showing off those skills. She's got 3 Titans around her, and this time the ball is going to turn over to the Titans, and the crowd loved that call.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, it just seems like a lot. They're just not doing much with these passes. As I say that, of course, Carson Beatty beats her man and sends it down to the middle.
Yeah, nice
for
job by
Ellie
Beatty,
Johnson.
and it does find its way to Ellie Johnson. Ellie scored the first goal in the Stab game. I think at the time we miscredited that goal to, I think, to Laney Nichols, but it actually was a redirect by Johnson on Tuesday. And we'll see if she can get on the scoreboard again. That's some great skills there from Olivia Schminke, but Schminke kind of stuck a hip out and knocked the defender over, and ultimately that was judged to have been a foul.
Yeah, and these calls just aren't going the Titans' way, and when that happens, even if they are good calls, which I think honestly most of these calls have been good calls from what I can see.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not the aficionado on field hockey.
But you've
But
learned, Coop. You've
yeah,
learned.
I've learned so much. But it feels like the refs are against you, and you cannot get in that mindset. Because as soon as you get in that mindset, every single call, every single bad thing that happens to you, it always goes back to the ref, and you never look at your own game and go, what can we do differently?
Yeah, as the Cougars look to counterattack again, and I think as Sarah Jane Ryan defends down in the corner, and some nice skills showed off there by Catherine Roush, and it is going to lead to
Another corner.
another corner. Yeah, I mean this will be the third corner of the game for the Cougars. The first two were very threatening. The Titans were able to avoid being scored on, but as we get into the final 2 minutes of quarter number one, it is definitely a little bit frightening for Titan fans, just how much pressure is being piled on right now by the girls in green and gold. And they play it around. Nice job there by Sarah Murphy-Payne, not only intercepting but playing a beautiful ball out to Carson Beatty, and the chance for the counterattack is on. Great job as Sarah Murphy-Payne stepped in and read that. And Beatty just slightly overplayed it to Ellie Johnson there. And Carson Beatty's body language told you the whole story, that she was a little bit frustrated with herself, that she just overhit it. But that's can happen when the adrenaline in a championship game just sometimes you just have to burn a little bit of that adrenaline off. And maybe that's the same thing for Laney Nichols, and just settle in and play your game. And we see Nichols here get the ball in. Good save. It's still right in front. And finally the Cougars clear it out. Callie Rogers, usually we see her on the attack, but Rogers did a nice job there defensively. And senior cross-country captain Jackson Hart trying to get the crowd going here.
Yeah. And this is where I might want to, if I'm Coach Steen, maybe I'm thinking about putting in one of my more experienced players, maybe someone who's had a little bit more time on varsity, because the sophomore class has performed amazingly, but there still are, sophomores. And this is where you maybe think about putting someone in. The first person that comes to mind is maybe Neely Weinfordner out there for maybe Ella Shirey. Just they both play similar positions. Neely usually does a great job slowing down the game and keeping it in tight possession. And I think that's what the Titans need right now.
Yeah, as we enter the last 5 seconds of quarter number one, and that should just about do it. So at the end of the first quarter, Collegiate 1, Trinity Episcopal 0, and this is the first time, I believe, almost positive, in fact, the first time the Titans have trailed at home this whole season. So it's a little bit of a new situation for them, but an opportunity for Coach Snead to get the girls in, regroup, and also, Cooper, I want to tack on to a point that you just made about the fact that even though Trinity has played in every LIS championship game going back to 2013, at least 2013, and so a lot of our fans might think like, oh, well, they've been in the championship game so many times, they know the deal, there's not a lot of nerves. But if you actually look at the personnel on the field, well, there was no real season last year, and the majority of the starting players are freshmen and mostly sophomores who haven't ever played in a championship game. So as talented as this group is, it's still a young team, and there are only just a few players out there who've had that experience to play in a championship game. And that I think, once as the game progresses, I think that starts to be less of a factor, and you just settle in and play. But you can see some nerves from the Titans. They just haven't been able to connect a whole lot of passes and have been back on their heels. And it's a cliche in sports, but it's often true that it's hard to beat a good team 3 times. And so Collegiate has come out here highly motivated, But right now, as we watch here from the press box, assistant coach Annie Sneed is addressing the team and making some points. And Annie is going to join us again at halftime today. If you're able to tune in on Tuesday, Annie joined us for an interview, but a lot of it was lost to history because we lost internet access in the rain on Tuesday. So we're really excited. Annie reached back out and said she'd love to come join us again, and she's an absolute legend here as a field hockey player. So we're going to get her halftime insights. But right now she's giving the team her insights along with, of course, Coach Sneed and the whole staff. So getting ready for second quarter. And, Cooper, you talked about depth and how much the Titans have generally subbed in those offensive positions. But in quarter number one, only one sub. Carson Beatty came in for Ava Benson. Otherwise, nobody subbed the whole game.
Yeah, but the thing, I still have to go back to the fact of I don't think it's more than maybe 5 or 6 players who were on that last state title winning team. We thankfully do have a couple juniors. I believe Kendall Fleet, Valentina, and maybe Neely Weinfordner were all on that varsity team. And then, Olivia Schminke also.
Yeah.
And then Lainey Nichols and Sarah Jane Ryan. And I believe Sarah Murphy Payne were all on that team. But other than that,
They were all on that team, but I think that Lainey Nichols and Olivia Schminke were the only ones who played big minutes. The other names you mentioned were key reserves and were part of it, but I'm not sure in terms of actual game time that many of these Titan players have that experience in a championship atmosphere besides Nichols and Schminke. So that was something that concerned me a little bit coming in, but I also think, like I said, that they'll settle in. And there we go with Lainey Nichols carrying it into the heart of the defense and earning a corner, the first corner of the game for the Titans.
And here's the big question: do you go for maybe a riskier play and bring more of your men,
players
up and try to go for the goal here? Or do you try to do what they normally do, which is drop 3 or 4 of their players off the back to avoid the counter? Because we know the collegiate team can counterattack well, and if you give up 2, it's just such a different ball game.
No, that's a great point. I think it's a little early to be taking too many risks, and they've been good on corners all year. That's a great ball played in and a nice save. It's still and it's a goal.
Ellie Johnson.
Ellie Johnson scores again. That ball was initially saved by the keeper, Tucker Walker, but Ellie Johnson followed up the rebound. Credit to Lainey Nichols for getting a great ball in, and we are back level 1-1 early second quarter. And I really felt like the crowd was a factor there as they were encouraging this Titan team and just added a little bit to that energy. So 1-1.
And that's exactly what you want from your corner. You want your best player taking the first shot and then just causing some chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I've noticed here is on the scoreboard clock on the stadium has not – all right, they just started it. I think we're playing about an extra 20 seconds here because after the goal, the clock didn't start for a minute. But they got it going now. Game on. It is you predicted both teams were going to score, so that has happened.
Now all we need is one more for the Titans. Maybe I'll go check the Powerball numbers.
Yeah. Well, still a long time to go. There could be several goals left in this game, but we'll see. Yeah. But the Cougars coming back on the attack here, and also those adjustments between the first and second quarter. I mean, you really saw Coach Margie Sneed as well as Coach Annie Sneed talking to them, and it clearly had an impact, as that is actually going to be a dangerous play against the Cougars.
Just looked like she lost her footing there, and then probably in the end of it tried to draw a foul, which everyone does. Yeah.
All right, that ball's played out over on the right to Olivia Schminke. Used to more seeing her in the middle, and Schminke gets taken down. She's brought to ground there by the Cougars goal scorer, Mary Catherine Brost.
And something I love to see here is drop Schminke and Laney into the midfield with Mary Hazel Davis is more like a CDM, and then put your freshmen and your Carson Beatty, Ellie Johnson, Ava Benson, usually those more traditional attackers up top. I would just love to see Lainey and Olivia have link-up play in the middle because I feel like they're both great players. I feel like a lot of times they're on the same page.
Yeah,
But
and you're sort of trying to in that scenario get your most experienced players into the
in
middle where
every
they're
aspect of the game,
presumably
yeah.
gonna get the most action both offensively and defensively. Well, here come the Cougars, and
Oh.
that was a warning shot because great job there by Sadie Brooks to get it into the middle, and then she played it off. I believe it was to either Brost or Roush at the far post. I didn't quite catch the number, but she was open, and that was fortunate that that ball went wide. But the Cougars are on the attack again. Nice job there by Kendall Fleet, though. She makes up for her own mistake, and that's a rare mistake by Kendall Fleet because she's been so reliable all year. But her pass was intercepted, but then she was able to win it back and then just play it out to the touchline where the Cougars will play it in a somewhat but not too dangerous of a position. But
and I feel like I see a similar thing with those. I'm not.
this ball
honestly,
bounces up, and sorry, Coop, to interrupt, but
Oh, no.
I just want to see. But Schmicky does well to get it out, and now Mary Hazel Davis is going to
like
lose
it hit
out
the foot.
there. Yeah, I think it hit her foot, so it will be Cougar ball. Sorry, go ahead, Coop. What were you saying?
I'm saying, I just wonder if we maybe try to switch up the. I guess the goal kicks is the only word I can think of for them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's another foul there called on the Titans.
Yeah,
Quick.
Rogers brings it in quickly. Valentina goes to ground again, and this time it's coming out. Valentina Ambrosi Torres has been about as busy already as we've seen her all season, at least in the home games. I know she was.
Oh.
Yeah, that's unfortunate there. It's going to come back out top, but back to Cougar possession. But we know Valentina made 28 saves over at Collegiate back in September. And that ball clearly went off the foot of the Cougar player, so it'll come back to the Titans. And now Mary Hazel Davis brings it forward, and showing off her speed and power as she comes down that right side.
Oh, just good block there. I think I saw.
Yeah, nice job by the Cougars to get a stick to it. And Collegiate trying to just establish a little bit of possession here. Some nice passing out there on their left side with Amanda Tan as part of that, and good pressure by Schminke.
She's been great pressing all day.
Yeah,
using that speed that we talk about
that was
almost as much as Darcy's poise, I'd say.
Yeah, there are a few things that seem to show themselves every time we're out here. Darcy's poise, Schminke's speed, Valentina's ability to just use her flexibility in goal to make saves.
I'd say Mary Hazel being everywhere on the field.
Mary Hazel being everywhere. Carson Beatty's power. Lainey Nichols just overall incredible skill and leadership on the field. So there are definitely some patterns that we've had the fortune to just watch emerge as we've seen this Titan team.
Looked like the ball hit off the Collegiate player's foot there, but no call, so just.
Yeah, so good job there by Darcy Copson to intercept. Brings it back, connects to Lainey Nichols.
Okay,
Lainey's clearly impeded there, and their sticks actually got stuck together. Lainey Nichols and Madeline Curtis, two captains.
That might have been what we call in soccer a tactical foul there, just trying to slow down the
yeah, for
pace of
sure.
play.
So Mary Hazel Davis looks to play it
Ooh.
across, but
Right idea.
came off the side of her stick, and it's going to go out for Cougar possession. One thing I have noticed is number 1 for Collegiate, Izzy Lee. Actually, I guess it went off Collegiate, so it'll be Titan ball out top. Izzy Lee, who's a really strong player for the Cougars, when they were here a couple weeks ago for the regular season meeting, she played further up the field, kind of in a midfield role, and she's playing essentially like left back today. So she's not been as involved in terms of having the ball on her stick, but I think the Collegiate coaches, because she's really impressed me last time as one of their strongest players, but I guess just wanting to make sure they have as strong a defense as possible, have moved Lee back into the defense, and she's actually got the ball right now.
I also wonder if that's to counteract Schminke.
Yeah.
Because it could very easily, I mean, the Schminke, I believe, playing right wing right now. So very easily could have just been, we're going to put you on Schminke.
That's a good point.
Take out, or Lainey, depending on who's up top, because as I mentioned
Yeah.
earlier.
Speaking of Lainey, a great interception, and she's coming forward at speed. But there is the aforementioned Izzy Lee doing what we kind of anticipated in that defensive role and Lee connects that pass to Callie Rogers, who plays it out to Sadie Brooks. And the Cougars are advancing it forward now. Well done by Sarah Murphy-Payne. I know one thing, as we just went through several of the players and their strengths, sometimes Sarah Murphy-Payne, I don't want her work to go unnoticed because she does a really nice job kind of in the center back position, almost like what we used to call in soccer a stopper, and she does great work in there. Yeah, corner for the Cougars. This will be their, I think, 4th corner of the game, and it looked like Callie Rogers was just able to get that ball up on her stick and really, I think she knew exactly what she was doing as she played that off the foot of one of the Titan defenders to
I believe it was Mary Hazel Davis,
to earn this corner. And now Izzy Lee is coming up to take the corner as we have 6:30 to go in the second quarter.
Get loud here. See where this goes.
She didn't get great contact on it, but it's still going to be playable. And they get the ball on the stick of Rogers to Lee. She lifts it up. What a save by, I think it was Kendall Fleet.
Yeah.
And it is going to go out. What a play by Kendall Fleet. Will she spike the goggles again? Maybe she already did, but she is pumped up, as she should be. That is as good as scoring a goal. Izzy Lee did a phenomenal job to lift that up. She actually had gotten it past the goalkeeper, Ambrogi Torres, but Kendall Fleet met that ball with her stick, probably almost at shoulder height. Great job by Kendall Fleet as this game stays deadlocked at 1. Those are the kind of plays that if you are able to come back and win this championship, let's make sure we don't forget that. What an incredible play by Kendall. And she saved one off the line last time that these two teams met. But it is going to be another corner.
Not quite sure what happened there.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure either. I think Beatty was called for kind of like reaching in from behind, but I think she thought it was clean and also
I thought it was outside the circle, but
yeah, I hear
refs
you.
obviously have a better vantage point than we do. So
they do, and they know the rules better than we do. So we'll just see if the Titans, can step up and defend it again. These corner kicks do, they make you a little bit nervous. Anytime the ball is on the stick of Callie Rogers, it makes you a little bit nervous. But that time she
wastes it.
Yeah, she
sent it over the
looked
line.
to play it in backhanded, but it ultimately comes to back out top, and that allows the Titans to reorganize in defense as the Cougars are making a sub here. They've not subbed much, but Ellie Smith checks in for Kate Smugelski, so that's a senior coming in for a freshman there.
Might actually have hit off a Titan player on the way out because looks like that was Collegiate's ball up top.
Yeah, good call. And now the Cougars looking to possess, and they play it back to Amani Kimball McCavish. Oh, Carson Beatty went all out for the steal and the interception. She didn't quite get it. She she lost her footing for a second there, and I wonder just, although I don't think it's raining, just these cooler temperatures, if the footing is a little bit,
imagine
just
it has
little
to with
slippery.
turf getting cooler.
Yeah.
And I've never played personally on, I believe it's wood chip turf here at Acock Stadium. I'm used to playing on rubber, but I know that does, when it gets colder, it starts to become more like, I guess AstroTurf's the best way, the flat surface.
That sort of just layer on the top. I love running on this field, though. This wood chip field,
feels so good.
It feels so good. All right, Izzy Lee brings it forward. It's interesting because I felt like she hadn't been too involved in the game, and then as soon as we pointed out her being kind of quiet, she's actually seen the ball a lot in the last few minutes. Nice job there by Kendall Fleet to dispossess the sub, Ellie Smith, and just play it out for from the sideline.
Well, I mean, the Collegiate has to be really feeling like they deserve a goal here. They've been getting...
Yeah, well, they're still on the attack. A lot of numbers in there defending for the Titans. Callie Rogers gets it up in the air again, but...
Yeah, that time she doesn't get a...
No, she didn't.
Looks like she was trying to do that same move, just, I guess, the James Harden-esque, trying to draw the foul there.
Yeah, I like that. I like that comparison, Coop, and Rogers didn't like the call. She's getting a little bit frustrated. I'm sure that she's used to, in most games she plays, just being so dominant that the attention that the Titans pay to her has got to make it a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, and looks like it just I just don't know. It looks like Ella Shirey just played it into one of the Collegiate members' bodies, and the foul
Yeah.
was called. So might be a foul, might not.
Well, Titans gonna possess here as Shirey looked for
Looks like
Schminke,
hit off
and it went off the Cougars. Schminke,
Amanda Tan's foot is what I saw.
yeah, Schminke's been a little bit quiet. I mean, not her fault, but just where she's playing pretty high up the field. Just haven't gotten the ball to her stick as much as I'm sure they would like, but it's on her stick now. And what a great give and go between Schminke and Lady Nichols, and Nichols has now got it in the circle. Couple defenders around her, but Nichols continued with it.
Good
But
defense.
yeah,
from
Izzy Lee did
Lee.
well to step in, and I don't know. It looked like a couple Cougars were apologizing to Nichols, like maybe they hit her arm, but
I think they might have accidentally hooked her stick after she shot, which is why she dropped it.
gotcha.
Is what I thought I saw, but
That makes
could
sense.
be wrong.
Shirey to Schminke. Schminke facing a lot of defenders, and good job by the Cougars there. And that was Amanda Tan doing well to win possession for Collegiate as we tick down to just over a minute to go in the quarter. And so, yeah, our scoreboard clock, if you're watching at home, is about a minute off right now. As I think we were a little late getting it started. We're a little bit shorthanded in production. So officially the time is 50 seconds to go in the first quarter. In the first half, I should say the second quarter. And will anyone be able to get a goal before
that looks
halftime?
like,
Well, Mary
yeah.
Hazel Davis just got tripped up there
And you
by
can,
Sadie Brooks.
you can feel this game starting to get a little
Ooh.
Ooh, that might be a
Yeah, that could be a
that
card.
that looked a little bit dangerous play there. Green
Yeah,
card,
and-
which I believe is a 2-minute 2-minute sit out.
Yeah, so that was
she will miss
Mary
the
Catherine
start
Brost,
of the
and
next
that
half.
she will. And we got 30 seconds now. So the Titans have a one-man advantage here going into this last
So
phase of the first
this is where
half.
you just gotta try to. That's got yeah.
And they are going to get possession here just outside the circle. Laney Nichols. Oh! What a shot!
What a shot!
Laney Nichols from an unbelievable angle.
Just backhands it into the far post.
That's got to be, I think, the goal of the season that we've seen here.
Tucker Walker stood no chance on that. Absolutely nothing you can do about that one.
No, that was an incredible
she looked to
shot.
Be parallel with the goal and just slotted it in there.
Unbelievable. So 15 seconds till halftime, 2-1, and the Titans took advantage of that numerical advantage with the card to the Cougars there. And as we enter just into the last 5 seconds or so of half number one, the Titans are actually going to go to halftime in the lead, and that is it for the first half. And she's, she scored that goal with 15 seconds left. It occurs to me that after the first goal, the clock didn't get started for about 20 seconds. So, I mean, that's on the officials for not getting it going there. But actually, if they'd started it, the half may have already been over. But hey, that's up to the refs to make sure that they're seeing all those things. So, what a half!
Honestly, it also could be. We don't know field hockey enough to know. I could just be clock stops after you goal score.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it that way, but.
Yeah, for sure.
Never
I mean,
know. It could be different rules
the
for
bottom line,
championship.
yeah, and the bottom line is you can't take anything away from Laney Nichols.
No.
She shot that from what seemed to be an impossible angle, and somehow was able to put it in at the far post to give the Titans a halftime lead. But this one is far from over, as we've seen Collegiate very threatening. They have had at least 5 corners. Valentina Ambrogi Torres has had to make some tremendous saves, not to mention Kendall Fleet, the defender, saving one off the line. So 2-1. And also, we talked early that Laney was a little quiet in the first 8 minutes or so, but she really came to life there in quarter number 2, as I think she assisted the first goal by Ellie Johnson,
I
and then
believe she was the one
then
who
scored
put it
the
on
second.
keeper. And then, I mean, he just got a feel even here for Tucker Walker, because there is absolutely nothing she can do about those 2 goals. She's played a great game, but when you have one that just gets put through your legs from about 6 inches out, and then a wonder goal by Laney Nichols there. You just have to look and say, what do you want me to do, Coach? I mean,
Yeah.
they've played an amazing half. I think Titans have had 3 chances, probably. I'd say probably that Olivia Schminke run at the start, which very easily could have been a penalty stroke, and then the 2 that Laney started. And other than that, you have to look at Collegiate and been like, we've done nothing wrong defensively.
Yeah.
We've played an amazing game, and
And
yet
yet
we're down.
and
And this
yet we're down.
that's just how field hockey works. Sometimes you just, all sports even, sometimes you play the perfect game, and you find yourself down 2-1 half, and you have to look and you go, where can we make a difference? Where can we make that last step, that final shot? Putting it past the keeper. And that's what you pay the big bucks to the coaches for.
No, absolutely. And I know we promised our viewers that Annie Sneed would join us at halftime, and she is going to be up here. I'm assuming probably not for too long, as I'm sure that the other coaches want her on the sideline. But what a half, Annie! So
what a half!
I'll tell you quickly what we saw, and then as the field hockey expert here, fill us in. So felt like the first quarter the Cougars really were on top. I mean, really, the goal was kind of coming. Credit to them that they came out super ready to play and had a great first quarter and took the lead. And then we saw you between the first and second quarter talking to the team, as well as obviously Coach Margie Sneed, and right from the opening opening hit of quarter number 2, immediately the Titans went down, got the equalizer, and then finished the quarter. Just much better second quarter. Yeah. What is it from your vantage point?
Well, obviously credit to Collegiate. They're a great team. They're playing really well right now, and we knew this was going to be a good game. It's hard to beat a good team 3 times in a row.
I said that
already. So they're very talented, have a ton of good individual players, but they're well coached, obviously.
Yeah.
So main thing we were telling our girls is just relax. I feel like first quarter it was a lot of jitters and a lot of missed touches on things that they know how to do, but they're just, big crowd at the game. They're a little nervous, a little excited, all in one. They've been looking forward to this all year, so I think they just need to take a moment to just relax, breathe, and settle into the game. And then second thing we talked about was just home field advantage. Like, let's use that crowd that's at this game to our advantage, and let's go out and
these girls earned it. I mean, we were here about 2 weeks ago when these same 2 teams met, and ultimately that game was for this moment to have home field. And the Titans were able to win it in the last 2 minutes. And so I think that's a great point. Like, you're at home and soak it all in. And it's true. Another point that we made is, you look at I said, and I think this is right, that the Titans have been in every field hockey, at least been in the championship game.
Don't jinx us here.
No, I'm not going to jinx. I'm not talking about winning.
All right.
Have participated in every year in the championship since at least 2013.
Yep.
And
my sophomore year at Trinity was the first time we were there in a while. So
right, and I mean, I remember that game very well at St. Catherine's, and I was there. I remember the tears that you guys felt, but also remember a lot of the younger players saying, "We won't feel this way again," and we're coming back. And you guys did. But what I was going to say is, so there might be an assumption for our fans or even alums who are watching, maybe some of our college players who might be tuned in right now, to think like, well, sure, like these girls have all been through this a million times, but actually these girls, other than Nichols and Schminke, who played a big role 2 years ago, the vast majority of these girls in the field haven't played in a championship game like this.
Right.
And that's something I think is important to remember, and it showed. They showed that they looked nervous early, struggled to complete some passes. Some of even the most skilled players had some touches that were off, but they seem to have collected, but there's a long way to go.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. They just need to relax and play the game they've been playing. They have improved every single game, and I even think quarter 1 and quarter 2 looked like 2 totally different games. Obviously, Collegiate's very skilled, and this is going to come down to the end, but if they can continue playing with some confidence, I think it'll be a positive win, but I don't want to don't want to jinx it.
No, there's a long way to go, but really entertaining first half, and we know the second half it's going to bring even more excitement.
It'll be awesome.
Do you need to get back, or
I can stay for a little bit, and then I'm gonna get back down there because I'm gonna be too excited.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
I think I was more excited to watch these girls because it's their first time than I think I was when I was playing. Because some of these kids, I mean, I've been around them since they first picked up their stick with club stuff and giving lessons and all that. So it's so crazy to see them in these jerseys and playing. It's awesome.
Yeah,
so I'm loving it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, same here. I've been so excited all week for this. I mean, obviously had to get through Tuesday's semifinal as Schminke is able to carry it, but just lost it there. But yeah, I mean, for me, just doing this whole TESPN thing for the first time, I'm as excited for this game as
yeah.
as any we've had yet. Our first ever broadcast of a championship game, and
Yep.
and it's lived up to the hype so far for sure.
Good job.
Yeah,
and-
we knew it was going to be a physical game as well. I mean, both teams
Want this bad, obviously. So we knew there was gonna be some knocking around.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get a few more calls. But
Yeah, and I
It's been
guess
good.
one thing to remind viewers or folks who may have just joined us that the Cougars did get a card at the end of the first half, so Titans still with a man advantage here for about another 30 seconds or so.
Carson taking it.
As Brost is still serving that 2-minute infraction, and this ball is going to come back out top for the Titans.
Yeah, fun fact, I actually think these two refs refed my junior and senior year championship game, so they have been doing it for a long time.
Yes, they have, and they also are both, I believe, lacrosse officials.
They
and
sure are.
back when your mom was pregnant with Sally and I was coaching with her,
Yes.
they were reffing then too. So
oh yeah, they've been at it for a while.
yeah, well, at least
for
you know you
sure.
have some experience. There were actually a couple calls that we questioned as that's going to be a play on there.
I'm surprised by
As
that.
yeah, it looked like the feet got tangled with Davis and Rogers, and that's a matchup we've really highlighted here on the broadcast as a really key matchup in the middle of the field with two really talented, explosive sophomores.
Very.
And this,
Very, very.
Annie, tell us what happened there, because
The ball just went out on the end line, so it's gonna be coming out. Collegiate girl dribbled it over the end line.
okay, that's what I thought. But
Yeah.
there have been a few calls where
Whenever
we
you see the two arms straight out, I mean 16-yard hit coming out. So Titan ball.
16 yards.
16-yard, you bring it to the top of the circle and you get it coming out.
We should have talked a couple of months ago. Nice job
Yeah,
there.
you want me to give you a quick rundown on the
Mm,
signals?
We'll figure it out before states next week.
Yeah,
The corners we know,
Yeah,
but you know,
pretty obvious.
yeah, and I mean sometimes even the players look at the officials like,
I was
what
gonna
was
say
that?
sometimes even
Yeah.
for both ways, I don't
Yeah.
even know sometimes what these.
Yeah, well, I know that came
They're
off the
going.
foot of the Cougar player, so that is going to go out of bounds to the Titans. And Shepard Ramsey is in for the first time today.
Mhm. Great kid.
Yeah, Shep is an awesome kid and a player who I've really enjoyed watching her when she's gotten her opportunities this year. I know she's been through some injuries, but good to see her back out there.
Yep.
All right,
Sure.
so they get the ball to Callie Rogers and then back to
Izzy
Izzy Lee. And
Mhm.
we noticed that I'm pretty confident that I'm right about this, that Lee is playing in a more defensive position than the last time they played here, I think.
I actually don't know. But she might be. I believe she was playing defense last time, but she's also a great player. Know
Yeah.
her and her family very well.
Yeah, definitely. I at least felt like she was involved in the attack some, but maybe that was just on corners. But
Yep, she's their inserter, so she's definitely up there. Great take by Laney.
Yeah,
Nichols.
nice job by
Probably should be
Laney.
a corner.
and thought that.
Thought that was a foot, but that's okay.
All right, now you're
have it
starting to sound
coming out.
like Coop and I, as we sometimes make calls and then realize that
Yeah.
that's not going to be the call.
I don't know if y'all knew this, but number 17 on Collegiate, Madeline Curtis and Laney are actually both going to Richmond next year. So they are they'll
that's
both
cool.
be playing at U of R together
That's
next
cool.
year.
Yeah, we saw them get
Two
their
really-
sticks caught
Yeah.
up together earlier, and it looked like they had a very friendly exchange. And
Yeah, they're very giggly, which is funny.
yeah, I was actually did notice that, and I was like, so they were playing a championship game, and they're out there laughing. Like, good for them, I guess.
They're great friends.
That's cool. I don't
they
think
play club together as
I don't
well.
think you and
so.
I were necessarily wired to be giggling it up with an opponent in the championship, but you know, whatever works,
No,
we'll
but
we'll
that's
be
okay.
rooting for them as Spiders next year, along with Corey Nichols as well.
Kendall Fleet with a great takeaway.
Yeah, Kendall made an incredible
Defensive
play off
save
the
earlier,
line.
which was awesome.
Yeah, that I thought was as important as any play. I said it at the time, it was as good as a goal.
Yeah,
Um,
Kendall's really coming to her own this year. She worked really hard this offseason. I saw it firsthand.
Yeah.
She's awesome. She's got a new confidence about her, and she's such a great kid. So
Yeah, absolutely. And there you see Fleet switching the point of attack out to the left.
Darcy
To Darcy
Copsinis,
Copsinis.
another
And,
awesome kid.
yeah, great student.
Ooh,
But
free shot. Don't
yeah,
wanna
it's
give
going to
that
be
free
a
shot.
tough that's right in front. And
Great shot.
Valentina did well to kind of
Yep.
cut off the angle. And then Sarah Jane Ryan was in a great position to defend. Had that come to the stick of, again, Valentina.
Oh.
But it goes to Roger Stick. Another save by Valentina.
Valentina.
And
Great
it is
save,
going to
great
come out
save.
for the Titans. That is a big save.
That's another kid that's really come into her own this year and just playing with so much confidence. I'm so excited for her. She's been a key factor for this
Yeah,
team winning
well,
games.
I think in the 2 previous meetings between these teams, if not for her
Yeah.
tons of saves, then
Definitely.
they would have gone different. We wouldn't be here right now.
Definitely not.
We'd be over at the Robbins campus
She
if it
had a
weren't for Valentina.
monster game over there. Props to her, 100%.
Yeah, 28 saves
Step
and
by Ella Shirey.
yeah, Ellis had a really solid game today.
Yeah.
She's done well. As she plays that one ahead, it is going to trickle out, and it looks like a
she's
sub
a very
coming in.
very quiet player, but does a great job holding that right side down.
Yeah, she does.
Super
She's
smart, super smart player.
She's getting a quick rest here as Neely Weinforner comes in, which is actually the exact sub that Cooper suggested a little earlier, just to bring a little more experience into that position. But Ella I thought played really well. Very few turnovers, and she's been involved in some
Very
good possession.
consistent.
Very consistent for sure. All right, so again, I don't think as much as the first quarter, but this third quarter has started mostly with the Titans having to be on the defensive back foot a little bit. And it is going to be a shot and another save by Ambrosia Torres and another.
Great save.
And they clear it out. Sarah Jane Ryan.
I'm not sure if that hit her foot or not. It might have.
It might have.
I think we'd like video referral for that.
Yeah, that hit the Cougar foot
That
there,
definitely
so
hit
that's
the
going to
foot.
come out. But yeah, it looked like it may have as well. But I mean, ultimately,
there's missed calls all the time.
Yeah,
both
no
ways.
question. What did you think early in the game when Schmicky went down? What did y'all see on that one?
I mean, obviously it was far in, so we
Yeah.
couldn't see the amount of, ball
Yeah.
versus body contact. Not necessarily the best place to clear it.
No.
So probably their most skilled player.
Yeah, and great job there,
Great
though, by
defense
Sarah
by
Murphy
Sarah
Payne.
Murphy Payne, who is actually a lacrosse player by trade, but has been massive in the midfield for this team. I mean,
Yeah,
massive.
she's had a great game today,
Yeah.
too. Cooper and I were kind of talking about a number of different players and their various strengths, and then we kind of had forgotten about her and actually came back around and said, let's make sure we don't forget about Sarah Murphy Payne
Right.
because
she's
been so good. There's Madeline Curtis playing it in, but she raised that stick
Mary
a little
Hazel
too
got
high.
a touch on the ball, and then Madeline Curtis hit stick instead of ball, so that'll be a hack coming out.
Hack.
A hack.
That's
If you see the ref stick out their hand and kind of make like a chopping motion, that's usually what the hack.
Nice.
means.
Okay, that's
If you
also
make
very good to
stick
know.
contact over ball contact, it's going to be that. But if, sometimes 50-50, you're going to get a little of both and they let it go. But if it's a clear hack,
Well, that's a
foot on
oh
Olivia,
yeah,
but nice try.
she really
Good
did well
call.
to anticipate and almost was able to dispossess, but yeah.
Neely's
Nice
using
job
her
there.
length there to intercept, and I'm not sure why they didn't play that on. But
No, I thought that was a good job by Neely.
yeah, an intercept. The aerial call is a tough one to call because you're supposed to give the receiver 5 yards of space to receive before you can defend. So that's why, Collegiate's done a great job of playing those. and
Nice
getting
job
the
there by
call.
Lady Nichols.
It's a little too far away.
There is her future teammate
Teammates.
taking it off of her as those two. No giggles right now, though, as we are about 5:50 to go in the third quarter. And if you're just joining us,
Good
Titans
job by
still lead
SJ.
2-1. Cougars scored first, but 2 goals by the Titans, one by Ellie Johnson and one by Laney Nichols, have got
Great
Trinity back on top.
That's all right.
Darcy anticipated well, but wasn't
Just a
quite able
missed
to.
touch.
Didn't
Kendall Fleet's there to
didn't
pick
get
it
great
up.
contact. Nice job by Kendall. Back to Darcy, and
Should
she's
probably
under
be
pressure,
going
but
to that way. Yep.
yeah, good job by Darcy. So I don't know if you've gone back and watched any of our broadcasts, but there's a word we always use to describe Darcy. Can you guess what it might be? How she plays?
Probably something like, I don't know, quiet, consistent.
Poised.
Poised?
Yes.
Yeah, that's-
yeah.
It's a Coach Snead favorite vocab word. She is very poised.
Yeah, she never. We feel like she just never gets rushed. She always just looks like she's so
She's
relaxed.
like on
and-
a tropical vacation out
Yeah.
there.
yeah, that
That
is
should
going to
probably be
come
a
back
white
to the
ball.
Titans off of
Let's
the.
hope they can do a quick
foot.
restart. I think that's huge. This collegiate team has an awesome press,
Yeah.
and if we, slow these restarts down and give them time to reset, it's going to be hard to get by them. They're very well coached in their press.
They
so.
are. I mean, we noticed. I mean, the first quarter, the Titans seemed to struggle to just even get it out of their own
Right.
half with that press, but have started to figure it out a little bit here, and that's going to go back out top. Is out top a fair?
You can call this
description?
is called a long hit.
Okay.
And it actually used to be taken over in the corner,
Yeah.
and they changed the rule to the 25 because there's no real advantage to
To a long
taking an
corner.
offensive hit in the long,
Yeah.
in the corner. So that was a nice rule change a couple of years ago. They did it in the college game first, and then trickled it down to the high school.
Nice, just like the quarters, right?
Yes, I think the quarters is an awesome
Yeah, I prefer the
adjustment. I
quarters
think
to
it
the
makes it a faster game. The game's already fast. I think it's
Yeah,
inducive to the pace.
well, and as a coach, you just like a couple extra opportunities to quickly get with
Right.
your team, and even like we talked about, that 2 minutes between the
Nice.
first and second quarter allowed you all to
Yep.
regroup. So I like that as well, and also I think it flows a little
Flows.
better.
Now
Um,
that does replace timeouts, so you cannot call timeouts anymore as a coach,
Yeah.
because they're saying in between the quarters, kind of like a timeout. But I think that's good, especially in the college game for people that don't always get subs. It used to be 2 35-minute
Mhm.
running quarters, so it's kind of nice to know you'll get a quick break after 15. It makes you go a little bit harder while you're in.
Absolutely. Wow. That's talk about an aerial. that one made its
Sometimes
way to the track.
it happens all the time to people. You just hook it a little too much and it goes off to the left. You really have to get under the ball to throw it.
It
so sometimes
happens
that
all the time to
happens.
people not named Annie Sneed.
I don't think I could throw an aerial until I was a senior at William Mary, so I cannot comment.
Well, I definitely remember you just carrying it down the field up in the air
I
on your
definitely
stick.
liked 3D skills. That
Yeah,
is
you were the
for sure.
you're the first person I saw do that, and then I knew the game had changed. But all right, about 2:40 to go in the third quarter.
Nice
Is
tackle
Carson
by
Beatty's able to
I think it went
get
off
the
on the sideline.
steal, but yeah, I
sadly,
think it did go out. But
but nice
Carson's
tackle.
another player that we've just been super impressed with this year.
Yeah.
Just her pace and power. She plays very direct, and just puts
she-
pressure on the defense.
Yeah, she plays with such an intensity. I mean, that's something you can't coach. So it's been awesome to see her actual, hockey IQ and game sense improve along with that competitiveness and intensity, because that's going to be a really big X factor for her as she gets older and gets more experience.
Yeah, she loves it too. I mean,
You can tell she loves to be out there.
she
And
does.
she's a hilarious kid, and, she will be a force for sure. She just is so young. She's
Yeah.
got so much time.
Absolutely. Well, Laney Nichols showing some of those same skills that preceded her earlier goal, but this
But
time the
good
Cougars,
defending by the
yeah,
Collegiate.
Cougars did well to dispossess her. Now they look to counter.
I think that
and
might roll out, but
It's
she's
good
been
effort
very
there,
speedy.
but Sadie Brooks is very speedy, but even she couldn't quite get to that one. And yeah, one thing that just really impressed me about Carson is like, I see her pretty much every day in class. Is just how like she's just always like, all right, our next game is that, like, then we do this. You come into this game, you got like,
Yeah.
she's just
she is
wired that way. That
she's a gamer and a competitive kid by nature, and that's something you can't teach to a kid.
no doubt. Well, she's certainly grown up around sports. Her
sure.
mom is the longtime athletic trainer over at Benedictine, so
Yep.
her whole childhood kind of spent on the sidelines
I
of
know how that feels.
various games. Yes, something
It
you
definitely
can.
makes you
relate to.
competitive, even if you don't mean to be.
Yeah, no question. I think I remember like having basketball players over at Benedictine, like of our guys getting their ankles taped before the game, and there was
Mhm.
like little 8-year-old Carson,
Carson.
like
Yeah.
chatting them up, like, you guys gonna win today? Yeah,
She's
So,
funny.
it's-
She's wise for her years.
absolutely. So
That's a
we're
bit
now
of
into
a
the-
hack by Carson.
yeah,
Probably
into the
needs to a little
last.
too aggressive there.
Yeah, well, the last thing the Titans would want here is a card, this
Yeah,
late in
no.
at the could
Nice
put them
anticipation.
at
but
a
great skill
numerical
by
disadvantage.
Curtis. Very
Yeah.
skillful player for them and very smart. That's a nice tackle though by
Yeah.
Carson.
Yeah, Madeline Curtis is a player when these two met a couple weeks ago that I actually remember Cooper asked me to give a Cougar player of the game, and she's one that I pointed
Yeah.
out,
Definitely.
especially the first half of that game. I
Great
actually
ball.
thought she was the best player on the field in the first half of that game. As
Good
a stick,
touch. Good touch by Callie Rogers there to disrupt that.
yeah,
Yeah, she's obviously a senior, so has been a varsity player since she was a freshman and plays club and obviously committed to play Division I.
Yeah.
So that takes a certain level of skill and smarts in the
no
game.
question, and you can certainly see that leadership.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the end of the third quarter. We got 15
All right.
minutes to go. Annie, I'm sure you're anxious to get back to the sidelines, so let me just ask one final question.
Okay.
What do you think it's going to take to preserve this win and lift that LIS trophy again?
I think the toughest part in a quarter 4 game is, getting too tight and thinking about that final whistle. They need to take it slow and they need to take care of the ball. Don't start playing frantic. And I think that's where either team could go wrong, is when they just start trying to hit it up the field. It's going to take it's going to come down to the wire, I think. It's going to be a corner. It's going to be a little tap in or something like that. So if they can keep corners down from Collegiate and keep the ball in possession, I think they might come out on
just
top.
got to stay in the moment and just
Yep.
play what's in front of you. Well, you got about a
Definitely.
minute to go down and share that
right.
wisdom with the
I'm-
players. So thank you so much for joining us, Annie Sneed. I don't know if the Titans are able to hang on. Maybe you can come back up for a brief at the end if you get
Yeah,
a chance. I know you're going to want to
Would love
be
to.
part of that too. So
Definitely.
thanks so much for joining us. I learned a lot about field hockey in the
Yeah.
last 15 minutes.
Now
and,
you know what calls to call.
Yeah, hack.
Coop, I'll give you the mic back. I think you're better suited than I am.
Hack is a word I've heard used many times to describe me. So, all right. Thanks, Annie. All right, we got Cooper Michelet coming back in for
Yeah.
quarter number 4. So that was quite a treat to have.
Always good to know the
yeah.
actual what the fouls are called, because
Yeah, that was awesome
We
to have
just go.
Annie join us, and she, for people who never got a chance to see her play here as a Trinity player, I mean, there have been so many great players. I would be hesitant to start ranking them, nor do I know really enough about field hockey to fully do so. But I'll say she was, as for kind of a novice fan, like watching her play, she jumped off the field. As much as anyone who's ever been, just her athleticism, desire, leadership, just the consummate coach on the field, and also the field hockey IQ, which you could hear even just in her talking about the game, just how much she understands. And it was really watching her and her classmate Christy Vandekamp, who made me a field hockey fan back in the mid 20-teens when they were here, like 2013, 14, 15, 16, those years. And Annie also was a member of the first ever field hockey state championship team, which was 2015 here at Trinity. So here we go. Fourth quarter coming. Titans still with a 2-1 lead. I mean, Coop, even though you have been off the mic here for about a quarter, you were able to watch that third quarter.
yeah,
It seemed to me, I mean, neither team had a great scoring opportunity.
No, I think that's what the Titans were looking for. Obviously, I feel like at this point, if they get one more, especially how solid we know that back line to be, you never want to call it over. But at a certain point, you have to think it is near impossible for Collegiate to come back. And I think if they put it to 3-1, it will be like that.
Yeah,
But
go ahead.
we will see, because I could easily see this game going overtime, as I said at the
Yeah,
start of today.
I think just whoever scores the next goal is going to be huge. I mean, if it's the Titans, I agree it's not over, but man, at 3-1 you would breathe a lot easier. But if it's the Cougars and they're able to lock it back up, then I mean at that point it's anybody's game. And if you love sports, no matter what sport it may be, just seeing two really good teams, motivated teams, giving it their all, playing for a trophy is kind of what it's all about. And here comes Olivia Schminke, and she's going to earn a corner. She was able to knock that ball off the foot of the Collegiate defender.
And I forgot to ask. I wonder, because that one also looked to be outside the circle, so I wonder if the ball's going into the circle. If you then hit it with your foot, is that called a corner? Because that's what it looks like. And then we had the one earlier with Carson Beatty, which looked
Yep.
like a similar thing. So
yeah, we'll have
figuring it out as we go, but
we'll
that
have to
might
look into
be
that, and hopefully, I'm pretty confident that we'll also be broadcasting at least
State
one
game, yeah.
at least one state game next week. So let's put that on our to-do list, Coop, to find out exactly
Yeah.
where it becomes a corner versus
we'll
just
see. And here's
possession.
Nichols.
Yeah, she puts it
Same
right in
thing.
front.
Same. You can tell that was the exact same play, because that went to
Yeah.
the same spot.
Look for Ellie
Ellie
Johnson again,
Johnson.
and it worked before. Why not give it a shot?
Yeah.
But the Cougars did well that time to defend, and really no
I believe it was
big opportunity came from that.
Amani Kimball McCavish, who was on Ellie Johnson that whole time. You could see she was right next to her in the box, which was different than from the first one. So you can tell
Yeah,
they knew what was
and
happening there.
She's one of the co-captains along with Madeline Curtis for this Cougar team. So nice job there by Kimball McCavish, the senior. Excuse me. Ball goes out to the Titans as we trickle under 13 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. And that's a nice lift by Neely Weinfordner. And
Whoa.
good job
Yeah.
there by Izzy Lee to intercept it from Laney Nichols. But Laney took
Oh.
it back, and Izzy Lee lost her balance there And now Laney Nichols, nice near post run by Ellie Johnson. Nichols keeps it in. You can tell she wants to shoot here, but ultimately does try
ball.
and lay it
Oh,
off to Ellie,
that's gonna
and
be
that's
another
going to be
corner.
another corner. And you see, I mean, the whole first 3 quarters of the game, I think the Titans only had, one
One.
corner, and now they've already had 2
I think
in this first 3 minutes.
I imagine here you have to switch up your play because that Ellie Johnson
Yeah.
play really only works if Collegiate doesn't know what's coming.
That's a great
So,
point, and
I think
Cougars did not like that call either. I mean,
seen it
they're
or
still
went clearly off the foot. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're questioning on that one, other than maybe if they thought Laney had done some sort of obstruction beforehand. I'm not sure, but
yeah.
that, I mean, both these teams have had great sportsmanship. I've heard very
And
little
it's been good calls.
complaints.
I feel
and
like
yeah,
refs have been consistent.
as Annie mentioned, 2 of the most experienced refs, but they
Yeah,
were
that's what
really
I thought. Going,
hollering about
oh,
that. Yeah, Schminke,
bad touch.
not a great touch.
Ooh, and that's gonna be a trip. Yeah.
Yeah, Mary Hazel Davis has been on the ground a few times today, but she's able to hop back up.
Ooh,
And
that was a good play there.
Yeah, that's a nice steal by the Cougars. Number 19, Catherine Roush. She's played well.
I feel like
But Mary Hazel Davis intercepts.
Kendall might have just put that one in play a little bit. Ooh,
And Mary Hazel goes down again.
Another
And
one.
This one, she can't.
unintentional.
No blame there. She just lost her feet there. And we've seen a few players do that. Izzy Lee just did that
Yeah.
for the Cougars. And I got to think that it's just a tiny bit damp with these cool, humid temperatures. And
then also it's just as turf gets colder, it just gets more and more solid. Like in the early fall, we saw it. It's maybe even a little bit too grippy.
Yeah.
I think we saw it early one of the games this year. Olivia Schminke, one time her shoe just got
Yeah.
stuck in the turf.
Yep,
And now
absolutely.
it's almost the exact opposite.
Well, Cougars play it way forward there. I mean, Izzy Lee hit that ball from her own 43-yard line, and it traveled all the way down to the 10 in Titan territory. So you're talking about a nearly 50-yard hit up the pitch by Izzy Lee, as now Amanda Tan brings it on, and the Cougars look to bring it into the circle. They get it to Callie Rogers, but good job there by Sarah Jane Ryan.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a corner.
Oh.
Well, there's still some
Obstruction off of.
Yeah, I'm not sure because it looks like
I'm guessing
Rogers doesn't look happy with the call, and
and just got a green card is what it looked like.
yeah, so
I'm
not sure what.
not sure the protocol here.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think is that Laney Nichols, there was obstruction there, which is what the ref called, but then Callie thought it should have been a penalty stroke instead of just a plain corner.
Right.
But that could totally just be me gasping at straws because I do not know how the system
Yeah,
works.
I mean, still a corner, so still a nice opportunity for the Cougars. They're going to have to do it without Callie Rogers, but they played it well. And
save.
Yeah.
That was a powerful kick there to get it up to Carson Beatty.
great kick by Valentina Ambrosi Torres, and as the girls soccer coach, I was super impressed with Valentina there. She looks like she needs to.
that thing, yeah.
We may need to get her out there this spring. The Cougars also make a sub. Sealy Shield comes in for Amanda Tan. So, but it is going to be the Cougars playing at a little bit of a disadvantage here as Callie Rogers has to serve a 2-minute penalty for dissent.
The one thing I did forget to ask is how quickly do you have to wait when they call the penalty to start play again? Because I don't know if it's like soccer where you have to have a stopped ball. Because I've seen a couple times on both sides, they just immediately pick up play.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's one of the things that Annie talked about was how it's really a point of emphasis for the Titans to try and quickly get it back in play before Collegiate can set up their pressure. Great job by Schminke just to keep that ball in. I thought it was going to go out, but she showed off her speed again. Another big hit from Izzy Lee from her own end line all the way 35 yards out. But Sarah Jane Ryan finds Schminke. Touch gets away from her a little bit again, and then
that was a hack.
And then a hack.
There we go. Learning the lingo. All right, Izzy Lee will. I see this going deep once again, and then she plays it short just to spite me.
Yeah, good defense there by Neely Weinfordner, and she pressures the freshman Sealy Shield, who lost it out of bounds. And
that was a beautiful ball there from Neely. Made it past, I think, 2 or 3 Collegiate defenders, but then just got unlucky.
Yeah, good job by Madeline Curtis to get it ahead, and now Darcy Copsonis playing like she's on a what did Annie say, a tropical
Believe-
island?
Yeah,
Oh,
tropical
what a
vacation.
touch from Lainey Nichols. And
Speaking
another
of tropical vacations, they just sent that girl to
Great
Jamaica.
great-
Holy cow!
that was some beautiful skills by Lainey Nichols, although the foul on Collegiate actually kind of helped them because it let them get a bunch of defenders back. Neely looks to play it
And
in again, and
good stop there from Neely.
yeah, and Callie Rogers back in the game, and actually with a little bit of a break, may be fresh and extra motivated.
Yeah.
And the ball is on the stick now of Rogers. Great job by Neely Wineforner
stop.
to intercept.
Oh, but then just
Yeah, she didn't
misplays
make
it.
great contact there. So now it comes out wide to Catherine Roush, and she looks to attack. She goes down.
Yeah, I think she just tripped herself there. I mean, there was
Yeah.
no one within 3 yards.
Yeah, so out of bounds on the sideline as we're now into.
Goodness.
We're already past the midway point of the fourth quarter.
Looks like Ellis Shirey coming in, so I'm guessing it's going to be Neely going out.
Yeah, and Lainey Nichols there intercepts, plays it off the foot of her future teammate Curtis, but then quickly gets it back in. And now up to Ellie Johnson, and the Titans have numbers for a 3-on-2. Mary Hazel Davis steams forward. Johnson looks for Davis. Davis showing some skills,
She was
but
practicing those backhands at the start before the game today. I saw her,
yeah,
but it just looks like unlucky there.
and Amani Kibble McCavish was able to defend nicely, and that's where having that senior center back or central defender pays off. As Ellis Shirey did come in, though.
Maybe.
Neely's still in, so it looks
Who's
like
on the ground? Is that Lainey Nichols on the ground? Yeah, I think it is. think
yeah.
Lainey Nichols might be having cramps here, which is just terrible for Titans. Still 6 minutes, plenty of time left for Collegiate, and
that's
hate
definitely
to
not
see that.
not a player that you one of the last players you would want to have to come out of the game. But Carson Beatty is able to get it ahead to Ellie Johnson.
trying to see what they're stretching here. It looks like that's hamstring.
I think it's cramping, and
Oh, that's terrible. That's the last thing you want to have happen in the last 6 minutes of your senior year LIS championship. This Collegiate is taking it down here.
yeah, we'll see if Laney's able to get back out there. I mean, athletic trainer Mark Hall on the scene, as well as Laney's mom, who's one of the coaches. So they're just getting her stretched out. I mean, of course she wants to be out there, and any Titan fans would want her out there, but hopefully she isn't done for the day. But still
Might even be a
5:30 to
calf
go.
camp there.
Yeah, nice job there by Sarah Jane Ryan, and now Sarah Jane gets it out to
Good touch from
Schminke.
Schminke.
Good
Yeah, that
defense
looked
there
like
by
a little bit of a
Shirey,
hack
but
there.
a little bit of a hack. So just outside the circle and earns a corner. And I'm with you, Coop, because that
just not. Is it like within 5 yards of the box?
maybe
'Cause that was the first time where I was for sure that was outside of the box.
All right, so we've got just under 5 minutes to go. Titans holding on to a 1-goal advantage, but the Cougars here with a penalty corner, and they have been dangerous on these.
This is a new formation for them now. This is like a spread out. As
Yeah.
the bench gets loud.
Comes to Rogers. She goes for goal.
Oh, good shot.
Saved.
Save.
Back to the stick of Rogers. She goes backhand
Oh,
high.
what a
save
save.
by Valentina. What a save by Valentina Ambrosi Torres. And it's going to come back out top to the 25.
It looks like Lainey Nichols is back on her feet. Still, wonder if maybe she got hacked. Sorry. Yeah.
All right, here come the Cougars as they try and get it back in. Rogers goes high again, and this one goes over. But I'm telling you, Callie Rogers is she's really looking to score. Like she's not really looking to lay it off right now. She's kind of taking it upon herself to try and get that tying goal.
And on that last one, though, that's where I feel like you got to lay it off. I mean, you just don't. Probably 3 Titans players on her. There's no way. The only way she was getting that would have been top of the goal. And Valentina had most of that thing covered. So that's where you got to play it off to the teammate or try to make something else happen.
Yeah. I mean, I get both. I mean, I get it as an athlete, and you feel like I'm going to do this and have that determination. But at the same time, there are 4 people around her, and that might be the time to become a distributor. So Lainey Nichols was able to – we watched her run up and down the sidelines a little bit. I think she is going to try and come back on, suck it up and fight through those cramps and play as we now head to just about 3 minutes left in this championship game.
We'll see. That one looks like it's going to go out for – yeah. That's
Gonna go out, and
that's huge for the Titans. This give you a good chance just to slow it down, because that's what you need at this point. You just don't – the last thing you need, honestly, at this point is a fast break opportunity that you miss and then gets countered on, which we see all the time.
Yep. Well, there is going to be a
Risky
turnover that's
aerial
going to give an opportunity for the Cougars, and they're going to quickly get it back in play. And once again,
what a stop from Schminke.
but it is going to stay Cougar possession just outside the circle. And Rogers using her skills again, trying to at least earn a corner. So many defenders around her. She did earn the corner, though. She did well there. But it is, a situation where the Titans have to realize she's not really looking to pass. Like, she just wants to do it herself. And so.
And we'll see if the ball goes to her. I mean, I have to imagine she's going to be calling for it.
Yeah, most of their corners have gone to her as we now have less than 2 minutes to go. And
this one goes out to 17.
And Valentina.
What a
double save. What a job by Valentina, but the chance hasn't
triple
gone.
Save.
And they play it out. Sarah Jane Ryan clears it. Great job by Valentina Ambrosi-Torres as the clock runs to about 1:35.
That we talked about earlier. Kendall's, that's as good as a save. Valentina must have 3 of them then, because she's had so many amazing saves.
And another corner. Now it feels like every time Callie Rogers gets the ball, it's a corner. Also, the scoreboard, the clock you're seeing, if you're watching on your computer or phone, there is a little bit more time than what our clock says. So it's 1 minute and 5 seconds left in the game, not the 30 seconds you might be seeing on your screen. And comes out to Rogers. She plays it back to Lee, and a goal. We're tied. We're tied as Izzy Lee is able to score and tie it with 55 seconds left. Wow. Well, I mean, I think the Titans were kind of playing with fire, giving away corner after corner. They defended them well, but ultimately that one ends up in the back of the cage. So after all this, Coop, we're right back where we started at a tie game. And ball is back in play, but
we'll see.
Once again, the clock has now started with 50 seconds to go. And that is going to go back to the Cougars there as we hit 40 seconds to go. The St. Catherine's team is below us. It's been interesting. Some of them are rooting for Trinity and some are rooting for Collegiate. So when Valentina made those incredible saves, I saw some of them celebrating, and then when Collegiate scored, some other folks were celebrating. So, they must obviously have friends on both teams and things like that. But this one is winding into the last 15 seconds, and Callie Rogers coming at goal again, and she's got that ball on her stick. She plays it in just wide.
And that's going to probably be the end of the game into overtime.
The last hit of the ball by Callie Rogers went inches wide, and we are headed to overtime. Wow. What a contest we've had. Coop, you said there was a great chance we might see an overtime, and sure enough, that is where we stand. Lot of, there's got to be a little bit of fatigue setting in, but also the just adrenaline at this point it has a big role to play as well. And I think it's 10-minute overtime I think it is
10 minutes, 7
aside. 7 aside.
So I think this is honestly it could go either way here. I think if think honestly it might depend on who gets the ball in their stick first here. Is it
Yeah,
Lainey Nichols or Callie Rogers? Because I think both of them have the goal scoring capabilities here to win it for their side.
yeah,
And I think with less people, that's going to be serve such an advantage to them because they both love just dribbling through people and not getting caught up in the four-person press. And we'll really see because I think it could go. I think it might be a decision of who gets the ball in their stick first.
yeah, and I think you make a good point. I want to give credit to Callie Rogers because we had talked about how she kind of looked like she just didn't want to pass, wanted to do everything herself. And I mean, she's so good. I totally get why she would. But ultimately, she did assist that goal, and by laying it off to her teammate Lee at the near post, that's why we're still here. I mean,
Yeah.
otherwise, the Titans would be lifting the trophy as we speak. So, big credit to Rogers for that assist and for that unselfish play, and a nice job by Lee to finish it. So. Wow, I agree, Coop. I mean, I do think with the added extra space of 7 aside, those super skilled players like Nichols and Schminke for the Titans and certainly Rogers for the Cougars are going to have that much more room in which to operate. And so, yeah, this is going to be – it's poised on a knife's edge. It could go either way.
And the only – is it – I believe it's sudden death overtime, correct? Or is it
Yeah.
just a 10 – is it
I believe it's sudden death. I'm almost positive that it is sudden death, yes.
right.
I know soccer is not goal to
Yeah.
goal, and they play it out, but I think field hockey
I imagine with a period that short, it kind of makes sense that
Yeah.
it is. We'll see. We saw at the end, it almost looked like Trinity was starting something there until as Collegiate gets into a cheer here. Trinity much more somber, which makes sense as they have to feel like they just lost the game.
Yeah, I mean, this
in a
is
way.
what a challenge for Coach Steed and her staff, and as well as the captains, just to pick them back up. You were less than a minute away from winning, and that momentum goes with the Cougars. But at the same time, I've seen so many games where, whatever sport, maybe basketball, where a team hits a buzzer beater to send it to overtime, and it seems like they have all the momentum, and then the other team is able to lift it back up. So I think also the Cougars just got hyped a little bit earlier because now you see the Titans are getting hyped up and ready to go.
We'll see. This is the best game we've had so far, I'd say, for TSPM.
Yeah, I mean, a championship game going to overtime in front of a great crowd. Yeah, is not much more you could ask for. I think when Coach Perlman and company had the idea for TESPN, it was exactly like Moments for Right Now, where folks who aren't able to be here with us can still watch the excitement that is high school sports,
So let's
LIS
see.
sports.
It's looking like it's going to be Valentina, Sarah Murphy Payne, Kendall Fleet. So probably a 2-2-2 here.
Yeah, I mean, the Cougars appear to be aligned in like a 3-3. Yeah, so the players who will play, at least start this overtime.
Or it might even be a 2-1-3 here for the Titans.
Yeah, the Titans start, of course, with Valentina Ambrosi Torres in goal, Sarah Murphy Payne and Kendall Fleet on defense, Mary Hazel Davis in the center, and then Carson Beatty and Lainey Nichols either side of Olivia Schminke. And Cougars have Sadie Brooks out there, as well as Callie Rogers, of course, as well as Celie Shield, Izzy Lee, and here we go. Let's just talk about what's happening because it may last 10 minutes. It may not last that long at all. So,
And the thing you love about this is you feel like it's the most pure form of the sport because, you
Yep.
know,
nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone who's out there is going to have a big role to play. And right now, it's number 6 for the Cougars, Sadie Brooks, bringing it forward. And a great job by Sarah Murphy Payne defending her. Sarah Murphy Payne, one of only 2 seniors in the game for the Titans,
And, yeah.
along with Lady Nichols. And
But-
Kendall Fleet brings it out of the back.
And at the same time,
It is intercepted as she looked for Schminke, but Cougars did well to intercept. But now Schminke's able to take it back over. And then she, at least for now, loses out. But the Titans get it back, and with the hack, but that time it looked like the Cougars did go before the officials were ready, so she tried to go too quickly, and now Rogers has it. She passes it over to Sadie Brooks.
Is it over?
And no whistle there. Looked like the players slowed down a little bit, but Carson Beatty, Delaney Nichols.
And this has to be what you want for the Titans here. Probably your best player with the ball at their stick. I believe 2-on-3 here.
Yeah, and Olivia Schmicky's coming to join the party.
Great defense there from Izzy Lee.
Good job by Izzy Lee. Believe she was the goal scorer for the tying goal. She took that corner.
That was a
slid into the near post.
Very similar thing to what the Titans did. Just hide the taker.
All right, and now Mary Hazel Davis brings it forward, and she looked for Schminky, but just out of reach. And I think the Cougars may be trying to make a sub here with Amanda Tan. She's at least standing where you would look for a substitute, and Amanda Tan is going to come in for Sealy Shield. So this is a senior coming on to replace a freshman. As you see, the Cougars put a little more experience out there. And good pass there by Kendall Fleet up to Olivia Schminky. Schminky's able to go past one defender, but not the second defender. Great job there by Amanda Tan, who just came in. But here comes Schminky.
Schminky.
She's trying to get in a position. Or actually, apologies. That was actually Lainey Nichols. It's all happening so fast. So Nichols was able to get a shot off. Really, the first shot of the overtime, but it went just wide. And we've now played 3 minutes here in the overtime. 7
great interception
to go.
There from
Carson
Beatty.
Job by Carson Beatty. I mean, what a moment to be a freshman out there at this juncture, playing in overtime for the championship.
Misplay there from Sarah Murphy-Payne.
Yeah, and bit of a coming together there between Sarah Murphy-Payne and Callie Rogers, and they both, I think, are going to shake it off. It looked like they just clashed heads, but they're okay. And now Carson Beatty is going to come out, and Ellie Johnson comes in.
Good play there.
And that ball trickles out of bounds. We'll go back to the Titans. Wow, Sarah Murphy-Payne, I mean, she took a shot to the head, and she hopped up. She said, "I'm good." And the senior, nothing was going to keep her off the field here as Mary Hazel Davis brings it forward.
Hit off the foot.
Yeah.
I guess
good pass up to Rogers, but nice job by Murphy-Payne, but it will stay with the Cougars' possession. And
okay, so that one was not a corner.
Not a corner, but Rogers is in there now, and it is a corner.
This is huge for Collegiate here.
Yeah, obviously their last corner resulted in a goal.
And honestly, for this one, you can try the same thing. Titans only have 3 defenders for marking. So I could totally see them playing it back out to Izzy Lee here.
Yeah, a lot of pressure here on those 3 Titan defenders. Student section making some noise, trying to inspire this Titan defense. Comes out to Callie Rogers. She does go back to Izzy Lee, very similar to the previous play, but this time she passes. What a save! What a save! But it is going to be another corner. But, I mean, that could have been it right there. I'm actually not sure who saved it. I don't think it was Valentina.
I think it was Valentina.
Was it?
I thought she was diving for it and got it with her pads.
I was looking in the cage because I thought the ball was going to hit it, but it did not. As another corner, again to Rogers. This time she looks to take it herself and blasts it just wide, and the Titans can exhale. When she drew that stick back,
I thought it was going bottom corner.
Yeah, that was awfully close. So we're now 4.5 to go here in overtime. Kendall Fleet plays it out to Olivia Schminky, and Schminky's going to take advantage of that space as the Cougars make another sub. Sadie Brooks comes out.
Oh, what up? Oh, yeah.
And that ball came from outside the circle, so
I think it
can't
is clear that there might be a few people in the student section who do not always.
may not all know the rules. That was
Because I heard some cheers.
very good poise there by Tucker Walker, the keeper, just to step over it and be like, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and put this in. We'll take that ball.
You can tell what Schminke was going for there. It was a great idea, but just
Yeah, this ball rolls out, and it is going to be – I actually didn't see which way the official signaled.
Yeah.
Cougars ball? No, Titan ball.
Titan ball. Or tight Cougar ball back there?
No,
I'm
Titan
confused.
ball.
Okay.
Titan ball.
Okay.
So Sarah Murphy-Payne will trigger it in from just inside her own half. Goes back to Kendall Flea.
Oh, no.
And she has it stolen by Callie Rogers. Rogers going to goal. She lifts it up, and in, and that's the game. Callie Rogers scores, and Collegiate is the LIS champion as they run onto the field. Callie Rogers intercepted and took it herself, and she was able to flick it over Valentina Ambrosi Torres, who had come out and
Looks like Coach Sneed had a word with the ref there at the end, but
yeah, I'm not sure if it was. I mean, obviously we don't know enough about the rules. I mean, what happened there is not something that we've seen much. I don't think I've ever seen someone chip the keeper, but you got to give a lot of credit to the Cougars for coming from behind. They score the tying goal with 55 seconds left in regulation. The winning goal in overtime with 3:24 to play. And for the first time in 8 years, Trinity Episcopal will not be the LIS field hockey tournament champions. Titans will have to be content with the regular season championship, and they'll have to regroup for next week, and the state tournament is still ahead of them. But, wow, what a game. I mean,
what a game.
Absolutely enthralling contest. As you said, in our fall of TESPN broadcasts, you really can't have imagined a more exciting game than that. And so we're gonna stay here for a minute here for the trophy presentation. As we've been joined up in the press box by Coach Banworth, as he's going to do the honors for this. And Cooper, just while both teams are preparing, what will you remember about this? I mean, really was a classic.
Great game, yeah. As I believe you said earlier, it's hard to beat a good team 3 times, and that really showed here. I think one of the key parts was just at the end, you gave up too many corners, and Collegiate made them pay. I believe 2 of their goals were off corners, right? Or no, 1. Sorry.
Yeah.
One of their goals.
But the one, I mean,
yeah.
but for that one, this would have been over a while ago because that was the game tying goal for sure.
And then the only other thing I can think is that part of that has to be Lainey Nichols coming off. Like, just the leadership that she brings to this team, leaving the field is just heartbreaking for the Titans here.
Yeah.
Obviously, honestly, Collegiate probably going to move above Titans in state rankings,
Yeah,
but we'll see.
That'll be really interesting because coming in, Titans were number 2, Cougars number 3. I mean, you could certainly make the case as a Trinity fan that
we beat them 2 times. They beat us once.
Right. Trinity won 2 out of 3. Also, Trinity played a much closer game with the number 1 Norfolk Academy, losing 4-3 in overtime. Norfolk Academy beat Collegiate 8-4. So I think the Titans have a case for the number 2 seed, but regardless, there's a great chance these two may very well see each other again. Now, they'll both have a quarterfinal match they'll have to navigate next week. But if they stay at 2 and 3, regardless of in what order, you're going to see them again. All right, we're going to say goodbye to Coop here as he's got a roll. But if we can, though, let's keep it rolling while we meet the all-LIS team and see who gets these honors.
LIS championship game. We would like to recognize your 2021 LIS Field Hockey Tournament champions, Collegiate School Cougars.
So you see here the Cougars getting presented with the trophy. St. Catherine's Athletic Director Julie Dayton doing the honors as the Cougar captains.
Congratulations to our Trinity Titans on another amazing season as well.
And a big hand for the Titans, the regular season champions.
All LIS Field Hockey selections, as your name is called, please head to midfield to receive your award. Valentina Ambrogi Torres, Trinity Episcopal
First
School.
RIS selection, Valentina Ambrogi Torres. What a game she played. If it wasn't for her efforts, this would never have been in overtime. So Titan goalkeeper
Madeline
gets all
Curtis,
LIS.
Collegiate School.
Collegiate captain Madeline Curtis, a very deserving recipient. She, as we learned, is going to play at the University of Richmond next year.
Mary Hazel Davis, Trinity Episcopal School.
Mary Hazel Davis, the sophomore, with the all LIS honor.
Izzy Lee, Collegiate School.
Izzy Lee, who scored the game-tying goal for the Cougars and played great defense throughout as well.
Tilly Matheson, St. Anne's Belfield School.
Billy Matheson from Stab, honored.
Mary Kate Richards, St. Catherine's School.
Mary Kate Richards from St. Catherine's as the Saints are here and they're cheering on Mary Kate. Congratulations to her. Great to see their whole team here taking in this championship game. So she gets a hug from the St. Catherine's athletic director.
Callie Rogers, Collegiate School.
Callie Rogers, the scorer of the game-winning goal for Collegiate, clearly an all-LIS player.
Olivia Schminke, Trinity Episcopal School.
Olivia Schminke from the Titans, all-LIS.
Abigail Shim, St. Anne's Belfield School.
Abigail Shim
Emma
from
Stevens,
Stab.
St. Catherine's School.
And we have another St. Catherine's player, Emma Stevens, is coming down to receive her honor. If I remember correctly, I think she's a sophomore from when we saw the Saints here back in September.
And lastly, LIS Player of the Year, Lainey Nichols, Trinity Episcopal School.
And Lainey Nichols honored as the player of the year. May come as a small consolation today in this heartbreaking loss, but I think when Lainey thinks back on her career here, she
Ladies, another
will
round
have
of
so
applause.
much to be proud of, and an incredible season for Lainey, rewarded as player of the year. So as we look up here from the press box, there's a ton of talent down there, well deserving of their all-league honors. Pictures being
We
taken.
look forward to all the LIS teams competing in the Vista State Tournament, and we wish everyone the best of luck. Have a great evening, drive safely, and stay warm.
All right, so just to wrap things up here, first of all, looking ahead to next week, both these teams are surefire participants for the state tournament. They're currently number 2 and number 3 in the state. Top 8 go, so they're definitely both going to go. Both going to host a quarterfinal. And barring some major change, I mean, Norfolk Academy is locked in at 1. It's hard to imagine the current number 4, St. Catherine's, obviously leaping either of these teams. So they're very likely to see each other again as long as they can get through their quarterfinal matchups. So anyone who watched this, anyone who attended this game, I'm sure would be more than happy to see these two play again. But first, come the quarterfinals. They'll be on Tuesday. We should be here for TESPN to broadcast those quarterfinal, whoever the Titans play in the quarters. They'll get that seeding over the weekend. And then just to talk on this game for a second, it was an incredible contest. Collegiate scored first. Then the Titans scored 2. Collegiate scores the tying goal with 55 seconds left in regulation and the winning goal with under 3.5 left in overtime. And could have gone either way, but just from an athletic event, I mean, you couldn't have asked for a more exciting contest. And so huge congratulations to the Cougars winning this LIS title, but also so much for the Titans to be proud of. And we can't wait to be back here next week for state tournament competition. And hopefully Titans should be Tuesday. So we can put that down on the calendar and get ready for that. And then finally, our next TESPN broadcast comes in less than 24 hours as we host boys soccer state tournament first round. Benedictine Cadets coming over to Pitaway Drive to face the 7th-seeded Trinity Episcopal Titans. That is tomorrow, 3:30. Can't wait to bring that one to you. And that'll be the first boys soccer state tournament game on campus in about 17 or 18 years. I'm going to figure that out tonight, but it's been a long time. Hopefully we'll have a great crowd, and hopefully you'll be with us as well for that one. In the meantime, congratulations, Collegiate. We'll see you next time.